As children begin to develop speech, they can sometimes get caught on a word, and parents may wonder if their child stutters. Stuttering affects 1% of the U.S. population. That's some 3 million people. Sometimes it is a part of normal language development. So how do you know if your child is stuttering, and what should you do about it? We're joined now by WNBC medical contributor and pediatrician Dr. Lisa Thebner. Dr. Thebner, welcome back.
Thank you.
Let's begin. What is stuttering? And it is a normal part of development, so how do you know when you should get help?
Stuttering is the repetition of either a word or the beginning of the letter of a word, and so it could be something like I, or cookie. And so it's a repetition, and so usually they get caught up on a word, and it happens when there's a surge of language development, usually between the age of 1.5 years and 5 years of age.
What causes it?
Well, it's a combination of things. There may be some genetics involved because it tends to run in families. It's more common in men, boys, than it is in girls. And there may be also some sort of brain anomaly that may be found.
All right, you say that it is a normal part of development. So when do you know to get help?
If it is happening for less than 6 months at a time, and if a child isn't bothered by it, and if it seems to come and go, then it's not usually anything to be bothered about, and then they're usually going to grow out of it.
When do you consider, well, let's talk about this. What can you do, even if you figure out it is something, and you take your child to a speech pathologist, is there anything that they can do for your child?
Absolutely. So they have speech therapy that they do with them and some play therapy, and they also help you model some behavior that would help them get through this process.
So what about that? Let's talk about what a parent should do. Your child is stuttering. How do you keep it from getting on their radar so they don't become so concerned about it? What do you recommend for parents?
That's just it. You have to know really when there's going to be a problem, and it's usually based on the duration of time that they're going to be stuttering for. So it's usually longer than 6 months, or they've started stuttering when they're older than 3.5 years of age, and it lasts longer than when they're 5 to 7 years of age. So if those things are persisting, then it may give you a heads up that this might be something that's more persistent. Also, they tend to get a little bit more upset about it. They might grimace or twitch. They may blink more. And so that's a sign as well that there's something to be concerned about. What you want to do is to not stop them. You don't want to interrupt them. You don't want to finish their sentences. You certainly don't want to say, slow down, take a deep breath.
Or stop that.
Exactly. Well, this is all counterintuitive because you would think that you're helping them through it. It actually creates more pressure on them. And more pressure makes them more stressed, and that actually can worsen the stuttering.
So then, is it fair to say, oh, my child is suffering from an emotional problem because he or she stutters, or does that not necessarily have anything to do with it?
It's an excellent question. No, it's not usually having anything to do with it. They're not necessarily a nervous child, although being nervous can make it worse. And their intelligence, there's no correlation with that as well. So this is a regular, normal child who just has what's called a disfluency, so difficulty with language.
Chances are the child will grow out of it?
The likelihood is, especially if you recognize it earlier, and then they could get that speech therapy that they need.
All right, Dr. Lisa Thebner, WNBC medical contributor, thanks for the information. It's good information.
Thank you.